Hi, welcome to this sessions of personal finance. I'm Marcus Howe. Today I will share with you the 8 steps to financial independence. Welcome and enjoy the sessions. Let us get to the slides immediately. So before we go into the main topics of today, let me share with you what is the objective of today's sessions. The first objective will be the concept of financial independence. I will share with you what is financial independence so that all of us will have a general or we have an idea of what is financial independence. And then the second one will be the 8 steps to start this journey. So because after we know about financial independence, we need a clear and simple steps to start. Okay, so before we go into the next, the main topics of financial independence, I would like to share with you some of my background so that we can get to know each other. My education qualification is in Bachelor of Degree in Computer Science Networking. So after I graduated, I didn't go into this line. Instead, I joined insurance industry back in 2008. So if you look at my career experience, I joined life insurance industry in 2008 until 2019. And then after that, I switched to be a licensed financial planner in 2020, last year before the COVID time. Okay. And I'm currently a licensed financial advisor with my FA firm called FA Advisory, located in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. And my professional qualification and license, what I have is I'm a registered financial planner from MFVC, and then I'm an associate estate planning practitioner. And currently, I'm holding capital market service representation license from Security Commission of Malaysia. That means we are approved, or we are able to provide advice to our clients regarding personal finance and investment. And the fourth one will be financial advisor representative license from Bank Negara Malaysia. So this is my professional qualifications and license. I conduct also occasionally financial education talks and activities. I did some online Zoom talk series since last year MCO, and I've joined Security Commission and Bank Negara financial planning talks, providing free financial advice to the public. And before COVID time, me and some of my friends, we did some money sense workshop. That means we played some cash flow games to inspire our attendees about managing personal finance, creating wealth, and better, in terms of managing our personal finance, smarter, and we know more about it. Okay, so the next slide will directly go into the next question. The first question is, what is financial independence? Okay, so when we talk about financial independence, maybe you heard it, maybe you heard it before, or maybe you are just the first time that you heard it. So what is financial independence? Is it passive income more than active income? This is called financial independence. Do you agree? Okay, how about, is it passive income more than our expenses? It's called financial independence. So the actual answer is it's not dependent on any active income source to maintain your current lifestyle. Means the other source of money that coming in, income that coming in, is not from active income. But that money is enough to sustain our lifestyle expenses. That is called financial independence. That means we independent. Financially we are independent. So if we stop working now, the money is still coming in, and we still can cover our expenses. So this is what is the simple definition of financial independence. Okay, so pay attention to this keyword is income and expenses. As long as your expenses is reasonable or low, so we can easily get the required income, passive income, to cover our expenses to become financial independence. Okay, why not be rich? Why we choose financial independence? So what is rich? Is rich, when we think of rich, we think that we need to have a big car, big house, a lot of luxurious goods. So where does this image come from? Is it from the media, from the TV, from the books we read? So what is rich? Why not we choose rich? Instead, why we choose financial independence? Okay. Is rich means money more than our expenses, or is Rich means the money more than your desire. That's called rich. So if we have never-ending desire, but our money keeps coming in is enough to cover our desire, is it called rich? Okay. Actually, there's no quantitative goal to desire. So as long as we have never-ending desire, we will be keep pursuing never-ending income. Okay, but bear in mind that I'm not asking all of us to stop earning more income. So we encourage everybody to earn more income, but in a different way. It's not necessary we would like to go for the rich pathway. So how about financial independence? Actually, financial independence is a set of formulas, right? Income and expenses. So as long as our desire is controlled desire, and we just focus on increasing our income, passive income, then our expenses will be covered. So we can set an amount to it and making it achievable. Okay, so I've prepared some comparison here. There are 3 comparisons, and we look at each of it, which one is easier and achievable. Okay, the first one is if our expenses is 0, that means we don't have any desire, and our income is just enough to cover basics. So what will this condition be? Is among if we want to immediately become financial independence. Actually, we go and we go down this path. Actually, we are financial independence, but I don't think most of us is applicable to all of us. So the second part is expenses is just enough. We are content with life. And then the second one is income side, we have extra and excess. So no matter the income is passive or active, we will have excess, we will have extra. Okay, so that you have time to spend with your family or spend with your loved ones. So this is the middle part. The third one will be the expenses is high and luxurious lifestyle, and the income will be coming from business empire or business side of income. So this lifestyle will be luxurious lifestyle, and you can enjoy as much as possible. But for most of us that without any background, financially strong background, maybe we can aim for the second part. That is, we have expenses is enough, we content with life, but our income we have extra, so that we can have extra time to spend with our loved one and our families. But in the meantime, we still can aim for high and luxury lifestyle. If that is your choice, it's okay. Okay, so this is the comparison to the choices, so that we know which pathway we can start or which pathway we can go first. So now we are talking about the 8 steps of financial independence. Step number 1, know your money personality. Okay, so as generally, we have 4 types of money personality. So let's see why money personality is important, because how we earn and how we spend money directly linked to our money personality. Okay, there are generally 4 types of money personalities. Number 1 is the spender. Number 2 is the saver. Number 3 is the avoider. And number 4 is the warrior. So outside on the internet, actually, there are a lot of quiz to let us participate in the quiz, that you will know what is your personality. But the general terms, usually we break down it into this category, into these 4 types of money personality. Okay, and how it will affect our wealth in terms of this money personality. Number 1, if you are the spender, okay, you don't have any idea of money, just you think money will just come, and then you just spend it all because you would like to live a good life. And usually usually spender, it will be too optimistic about the current situation or future situation. The saver usually will save everything for future use, and the saver will not spend much even on self or family members. So they will keep most of the money themselves, because they worry in the future they might need to use it. So the saver will save everything. Okay, and the third one will be the avoider. If you pay a bill late or you try to avoid or drag money matters, the tendency is you are the avoider. So myself, I'm the avoider. So if I receive the bill, usually I drag it on into the due date before, 1 day before the due date, only then I pay the bills. But after knowing that the money personality, my own money personality, I know what's the drawback of this trait, and I take some steps to overcome it. Okay. And then the fourth one is the warrior. The warrior mostly will be the pessimistic. Think back days will come soon. And usually the warrior will feel guilty on money spent. Let's say like the warrior already, I mean, he bought some goods throughout the internet, or she bought some stuff. And after buying that stuff, after getting that stuff, he or she will still feel guilty about the money spent. Okay, so the warrior will be another type of money personality. By knowing these 4 traits of money personality, we can know ourselves better so that we can take the necessary steps to change our money habits so that we can build a better foundation in personal finance. Okay, and step number 2 is we track our expenses, or we do our own personal balance sheets. You see, for the reason why we need to track is companies do accounting, right? They hire accountants, they hire bookkeepers to help to do bookkeeping, because companies would like to know whether they are making a loss or making money. Okay, or even if the company is accumulating wealth or accumulating debt. So companies do accounting, country do accounting, do budgets, right? So how about you? How about us? A lot of us, we don't even keep track of our money. We only keep track of how much we can get every month, or how much is our income, and then we spend, and then we spend, and then we spend. So we do not keep track of the money flow. Okay, so if you do not know how your money flow, we will know how much we need. So there are a few types of doing this. One is we do a budget, another one is we do tracking. So usually I would suggest that we do a tracking. Tracking means we record down our expenses. So after end of that month, we track back what do we spend on based on percentage. And then the second month, and then we do it the same on the third month. Okay, so are you in debt or in creating wealth? So if we do this tracking, we will know whether we are in debt or we are in creating wealth, so that we know our expenses is high or our expenses is low, or a lot of our money is just sitting there not working for us. Okay, so we track our money flow to know how is our personal finance health. So how about personal? There's no personal accounting syllabus out there. So usually we will use personal balance sheets or personal cash flow worksheet to track how our money flows. But in the market now, currently there's a lot of apps that we can use. I will share what is the apps later. Okay, when we are talking about budgeting and tracking our money, budget is stick to a spending regime. So maybe if we set a budget too tight or too loosely follow, and maybe in the next one we'll give up because we can't achieve that target, or we tend to overspend a lot. So we need to edit our habits immediately. If we use budgeting, it will feel like a stress. So you see, we can use as I mean, it may apply to savers, because savers always save. Savers usually will track, will key in everything that they have. But for other types of money personalities, it will be harder because it tends to edit the whole money habits immediately. Okay, so tracking is to spend some time recording and review it to improve. By using tracking, we will be more easier to track our cash flow without the stress, so that when after 1 month or 2 months, we have our figures, we have our data, we can edit it the next month, bit by bit, slowly. Okay, so by using tracking, we can see clearly where you spend the money and how we spend it. Okay, so we can improve it by adjusting allocations month by month, sector by sector, category by category. Let's say like next month or this month, we would like to track our F&B expenses. So after we tracking for this month, next month we can change our habit or do some steps to reduce our expenses on F&B side. Okay, and usually we use apps to track, because previously we are using Excel to key in, we are using some notebooks to key in our figures, everything, right? So nowadays our handphone is very advanced. We just need to install some of the apps and then we are good to go. So the apps that I'm personally using is Money Lover. You can go to Google Play Store to search it. Money Lover is free to use, just that they will have some advertisement up down there, but it's good to start. And when everything you just key in, you make it as a habit to key in, and end of the month, it will be able to generate a graph to let you know, or the pie chart to let you know what percentage of money is spent on each category. Okay, so this is about budgeting and tracking. Then step number 3, after we know our money personality, step number 2, we do tracking. We know our cash flow is how our cash flow perform. Number 3 is increase your income. Okay, if we are in Malaysia, or in Southeast Asia, we have to increase our income. Okay, why? Because your number 1 wealth building tool is your income. It's not investment return. It's not the compounding interest. No, the number 1 wealth building tool is your income. If we just talk about savings, how much can we save? We have a ceiling. We hit the ceiling easily, because if I'm earning 3,000, the maximum I can save is 3,000. It won't be 4,000, right? So usually we go for the offensive. There's a limit to controlling spending. Okay, no matter how much we spend, no matter how much we control, there's a ceiling to it, right? How about we increase our income? How about we go to offensive side? We increase our income, so we can open up some new income streams and creating more wealth. So if in Malaysia, we can do a lot of side businesses, side hustles, part-time, using your own professional skill sets, right? So another reason why we need to increase our income is because of Ringgit Malaysia versus US dollar. Or if we are in Southeast Asia, the things that we bought is we need to convert it to in US dollar, right? So the world trades in US dollar. Everything we buy in US dollar. So Malaysian ringgit is subject to outside forces. So if the supply and demand of foreign currency or foreign economy or the world economy is different, and our Malaysian ringgit will be under pressure, the exchange rate will be lower. I mean, we need to use a lot of ringgit to exchange for $1 US. So we import most of our stuff in Malaysia. So let's say like the computer I'm using, the keypad or keyboard I'm using, the microphone I'm using, the camera I'm using is imported stuff. So when we import stuff, most of the transaction will be in US dollar. So we check our handphone brands, right? Usually it's imported stuff. So it's traded in US dollar. And because of this, when we buy imported stuff, most of the thing is imported stuff. Okay, maybe it's 50% to 60% is imported stuff. We are subject to the currency exchange pressure. And if we are earning Malaysian ringgit, then it will make the income or the purchasing power will be lower. Okay, if we are just staying defending, eventually our income will be taken away bit by bit. So the idea here is to increase our income. Maybe you can do some side hustle, side income, or part-time income to top up on your existing income. Okay, we can start the side gig. In Malaysia, there's a lot of opportunities that we can start. We just apply a permit, or we just open up a sole proprietor company or enterprise, and we can start selling stuff. In today's world, internet is everywhere. We can go into e-commerce. We just have to learn about it. Okay. Second, we can learn some new skills that will increase your value at workplace, so that your salary or employment salary will be increased. Okay. We can learn a new skill that can convert to cash. So there's a lot of platform offering online education, online courses that to improve new skills, so that you can apply it directly back into the market. Or you can even start a business with your partner, with your friends. You buy something and then you repackage it, or you provide some services and then you provide to customer, and then you receive the extra money that you earn. By increasing our income, we build a solid foundation to proceed to the next few steps of this financial independence journey. So we come to step number 4. You allocate your money. So a lot of us, when incomes come in, we do not allocate our money. So we just let it flow and let it flow out to the expenses. The allocation in the money here is that we set a certain containers box like the bento. So each bento, there's their own set of compartment, each serving different purpose. Okay, so we allocate it according to container method so that our mind will be easier. When the money comes in, it directly flow into these few containers following the percentage that you set. Okay, we fix it according to age of lifestyle. Like if we are in younger age, maybe we need to set the learning percentage higher. Okay, when we are in the mid-30s or close to 40s, we need to set some fees to, or set more fees to family expenses, child education, etc. Okay, and like we have an economy budget 2021, company have expenditure budget, but ourselves we need to do this allocation budget also. So how about you? We can use the bento method. Okay, we allocate according to the bento. And here are the allocations recommendations that I recommend for as a general term, but you can change the percentage as you feel right. Okay, because personal finance actually is personal. There's no right or wrong. Okay, you just follow what you think is best, and you can edit it accordingly. So the allocation usually we recommend 50% to our expenses. Expenses means car installments, traveling expenses, food and beverage, etc. to maintain our livings, right? And after this 50%, the next one is 10% for savings. So for this savings, we allocate to few category or few steps. The first layer is we save the first 6 months of our salary. Okay, our income, 6 months of salary, we save it as emergency fund. So after 6 months, we accumulated it, we put at one account of fixed deposit, and then the next 10% that you save, we can channel it to your investment account or to your play account or to your gift or donation account, right? Okay, and then the third one will be 10% into your investment. So let's say like the 10% of the savings, you already hit the 6 months salary or 6 month income threshold. The next 10% of savings, you can direct it into 10% investment. So that means it means 20% into investment. So the earlier you can retain that 6 months of emergency fund, the earlier you can take this 10% extra to allocate to the parts of the money allocations. And then the next 10% will be on insurance. So we recommend 10% to buy your own personal insurance. If you are paying more than 10% of your total income into insurance, you might feel that you are paying too much insurance. So usually we put it as 10% or below a bit. And then the next 10% is to play. So if we do a lot of work on personal finance, personal money, we allocate this, we do tracking, we allocations, but we forgot to spend some money to enjoy ourselves. It will make the money process, the personal money process, the cash flow in and out will be very stressed and you are not happy, right? So we allocate 10% to play. So this play means that you can use this amount of money to do whatever you want. Okay, no consequences, you just use it. So if let's say this month you have excess of this play money, you can brought forward to the next month and you can brought forward to the next month. So maybe you can use it as a yearly vacation to play, to spend, to splurge, right? And then 10% we need to allocate to learn, okay? Because in today's world, we need different skill sets to improve, to increase our income. It's not like 20 years back, we just learn one skill and then we can use this skill to earn money, earn our income until our retirement age. But in this current changing world, we need new skills to adapt to our original skills so that we can keep on the competition out there. So 10% to the learn part. So if let's say savings you are done, so maybe you can put the 10% into investment, into insurance, into play, or into learn, or you can give it extra into donations. So this is the recommended money allocations that all of us can follow. So if you haven't done this before, maybe this will be a good start for you to try to allocate your money. Now, step 5 is to cover yourself with insurance. Okay, step number 5 is if we do a lot of planning, we increase a lot of our incomes, we do money allocation, but we forgot to take care of our blind side. Okay, why? Because if bad thing happens, we do not have anybody else to help us, right? So we allocate part of our money into insurance coverage. Okay, insurance is part of financial planning and it covers our life value. Let's say like we are earning 50,000 per year. So if we would like to cover insurance, we cover 5 times of our yearly income. That means 250,000. So if I cover with 250,000 life insurance, means that at least in these 5 years, I cover my human life value because I can generate this amount of value in this coming 5 years. So in short, right, insurance is buying time that we might not have. So you can buy 5 times of yearly income. You can buy 10 times of your yearly income. And in the market, it's the cheapest wealth leverage tool that we can get. So maybe we can use 1 ringgit to cover for 100% of that amount. Is the cheapest wealth leverage tools besides housing loan. Okay. So what to buy in terms of insurance? Number 1 will be medical insurance, because if we are in Malaysia, it's either you go to government hospital or you go to private hospital. So if we have this extra medical insurance, private medical insurance coverage, so at least when bad thing happens, when sickness happens, we still can choose whether we want to go to private hospital or to go to general hospital. And then the second part is the life insurance, like I mentioned just now, that we cover our human life value. So this is life insurance part. You can cover it as much as your budget allow. Okay. And the third one will be critical illnesses insurance, because back in the days, 20 years back or 30 years back, when we go and do a checkup, when customer or when our parents, our grandparents go and do a checkup, usually when they notice it is in critical state of that illness. So tendency to die from that illnesses is very high. But in nowadays, the advancement of technology, when we go and check, maybe the situation is not so worse yet, but we are still alive. So that's why we need a critical illness coverage, so that when the payment is paid out, we can still live our current life, live our normal life. And then the fourth one will be personal accident insurance. But bear in mind, personal accident insurance is, if you travel a lot, we recommend you to have this basic coverage, because personal accidents actually is quite cheap, and you can cover it as if death occurs because of accident. And bear in mind that if we want to claim personal accident death on death, right, we need to have post-mortem done. If no post-mortem, personal accident insurance won't be paying out. Okay, so this is the few things that we need to pay attention to. And 10% of your income, we suggest that to allocate for insurance. If you allocate more than 10%, you will feel burdened and you might want to stop or cancel your insurance policy when your cash flow is very tight. Okay, so usually we recommend 10%, 8 to 10% to allocate for insurance, so that when you are very tight, the first thing you stop is not insurance. At least you can still go to expenses. You can check whether where's the outflow that caused your cash flow tight. Okay. So this is for insurance planning. So we go to the next step. Step number 6, learn to invest. So why we have to learn first before we go to invest? Because before giving your money out, spend some time to learn about it. Most of the time, my clients, my friends, right, when they heard about a good investment plan or good investment option, they do not spend time to learn about it or even to know about it. They directly trust the person and then give their money out and then invest into it. And most of the time, the return or result is not as the initial expectation. Okay, so the rule number 1 of investment is never lose your money. So you have to make sure that your money you give out is legit and you know what you are doing. At least you know what which part of the investment that you're putting in, instead of you just give your money to a friend and you don't know about it. You let other people to in charge and be responsible for your money. Okay, so the idea here is we have to learn whatever you put your money into. Okay, spend some time to learn and some fees to learn about the investment. So if you pay some fees to learn, at least the information that you receive is legit and is fundamentally correct instead of free. So sometimes free is, what I mean is it's not free, it's not good, but sometimes frees come with some objective behind it. Okay, like if I want to sell you something, maybe I give you some free information, but maybe it's biased. So that the best way is we cross-check few more places to confirm whether the information received is independent and good for you. Cross-check to make sure it is legitimate investment scheme. Make sure that is through Security Commission vet through before you put your money into. Why we advise if that investment, particularly where investment is approved by Security Commission, because when bad thing happens, you still have some avenue to trace back your money, to get back your money. But out of this Security Commission area, if you invest your money into it, if any bad thing happens, the tendency to get back your money is very low. Okay, so never stop learning, never stop asking questions. Okay, so maybe you will ask where to learn. How can we learn this part? Number one, we can go to some platforms. We can learn about financial investment topics. There are courses on this education platform or this upskilling platform. You can learn about it. And second one is we can go to Facebook. There are a lot of teachers, guru there, but you have to validate it first. Check whether they have the appropriate license to provide advice, or to check whether they have the expertise to talk about or to teach you about the financial or investment topics. And then we can go to other academies like Malaysia Financial Planning Council, CFP. This those regulatory bodies that we can learn about it. And then we can go to investment platform like Bursa Malaysia. There's some free tips, free guides there. Like you go to Unit Trust platform, Fund Supermart. There's also free guides there to help you to have a basic knowledge on that. So we can go to these few places to learn more about investment. Okay, so now after learning everything about investment, so now we come to step 7. We start to invest. So when we go to start to invest, before we go into it, we need to know our investment goal. What is your investment goal? You do it for retirement, child education, for capital gain, or for what purpose? So we have to fix it there. Because if for retirement planning, usually the time frame we need to adjust on the terms of that time. If not, if we didn't set this investment goal, tendency that we will be disappointed with that outcome is very high. Because sometimes we invest, we hope the investment return will be generated in 3 to 5 years time. But maybe the part that you put in is for long term. Only then the money can work for you. So we need to set what is your investment goal. Okay, be clear about it. And the second one is how long you will stay invested. Whether you stay invested 3 years, 1 year, 10 years, or 5 years. Because by deciding how long you stay invested, it changes whether you are speculating or you are investing. And how much you can give out to invest. Like at allocation part, we suggest 10% or 15% if you have extra. And bear in mind that speculating and investing is different. Okay, investing is for long term. Speculating is short term gain. Okay, but high risk, high return. In this picture here, I've shared with you some of the graph of the investment vehicle that we have here. Let me show my spotlight here. So on the left bar is potential return. On the right side is potential risk, right? So from the lower risk to the upper risk, we do it like that. And we have savings, fixed deposit. We can put to money markets, bonds, unit trust, balance fund, right? Properties, investment, business and private equities, shares, and foreign currency. So the higher the risk, the higher the potential returns. So be sure about what type of investment or investor you are. If you cannot take high risk, then you have to accordingly follow which type of investment tools that you are comfortable with. Okay, but besides the investment vehicle that we put in, sometimes on personal side we have some of our other than investment part of potential return and potential risk. Number one is we buy a new phone for our wife or girlfriend. So the potential return is high and the potential risk is low, right? Because they are happy about it. And the second one is we join some BNI club, business club, some JCI. The potential return is high, but the potential risk is low because you seldom will lose a lot of money here. You just have to put up some time to build your network, to increase your network, right? And if we buy a Sony PS5 to play, right? So its potential return is high. The potential risk is also high. So please be clear whether you want to buy Sony PS5 or not. And then another one is we hanging out with friends before COVID, right? Sometimes we go out and yam cha and we go and mamak to drink teh tarik with friends, right? So the potential risk is high. The potential return is low. Okay, so be smart about choosing your type of investment, especially investing your money or investing your time. Okay, so this is on the investment part. Let us go to the next step number 8. Okay, so why step number 8 is giving back? So giving back means we are doing some charities. We're giving back to the society. Here we allocate usually 5% of these allocations to giving back to society. Okay, why? Because we try to reinforce the good feeling of money. So sometimes because of the step number one of money personality, we tend to inherit some of the bad money impression in our mind. So by doing this giving back steps, we channel the positive feeling of money back to ourselves. When we give out this money, it generates helpful thoughts back, and we feel good about ourselves. We feel good about the money, and in return, this feeling will be keep on rotating, recycling, so that we earn more money, so that we can help more money at the same time help ourselves up. Okay, you feel better when your money help other people in hardship. So if today that 20 ringgit or 15 ringgit, if you put in your pocket, or you put this 50 ringgit in those single mother, single parents, or some orphanage, or some hardship person, you think you give them that money, they will be happier, or that 50 ringgit in your pocket will be happier? It depends on you. But the idea here is we try to give back as much as we can provide in our budget, but not overdo it. Okay, so it makes us feel blessed, make us feel enough. So if we feel enough, we content, we do not have to chase our never-ending desire. But that doesn't mean that you don't chase on your achievement. Okay, please don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you not to go to expand our human life potential value. We can go to chase our dream, our achievement, but it's not necessary we chase our desire, our never-ending desire to become just rich. Actually, there are a lot of ways to fulfill our life besides rich. Okay, and how much we have to spend to give back to society? We can start with as low as 50 ringgit or 20 ringgit or up to 5% of income. So if just now the allocation part of that percentage, some part of it you already achieve it, you already done it. Let's say like the savings part, you can take 5% of it, channel to charity. Besides getting back the good feeling of helping others, the receipt that we get back from this charitable act, we can use it to deduct our expenses or reimbursement from our tax declaration yearly. Okay, so we can do it regularly, we can do it face to face, or you can do it as occasionally. It's up to you. But the purpose here is to reinforce the good feeling of money. So summary for today for our 8 steps to financial independence. Number 1, know your personality. This is the crucial steps. Number 2, track your money. Keep track of your money and then re-edit it your outflow, your expenses. Step number 3, increase your income, because your income is your number 1 wealth building tool. Step number 4, allocate your money so that you have a clear mind when money comes in, so that when outflow, you have pre-setting it. It will be easier for you to manage your money and grow your money. Number 5, protect yourself. Cover insurance adequately to prevent any bad thing happens. Number 6, learn to invest first, because the number 1 rule of investment is never to lose your money. Number 7, start to invest. Remember to invest in platforms or investment schemes that are recognized by Security Commission, so that when anything bad happens, you still can retrieve back your monies. Step number 8, giving back to society, reinforce the good feeling of money. So this is the 8 steps to financial independence. I hope this session will at least inspire you to get to know more about financial independence. And I hope these 8 steps will give you a clear path to start this journey. If you would like me to personalize these 8 steps for you, feel free to come to this link website, marcushowe.com/discovery, to book a time, 20 minutes free discovery call with me. I'll show you the 8 steps according to your personal finance situation. Please bear in mind that this is not a sales call, and if you think that this 20 minutes is good for you, it's not enough, we can extend another 40 minutes free of charge. So click on this link to book a time slot with me for a personalized 8 steps to financial independence. And you can follow me at my Facebook page, facebook.com/marcushowefy, or you can follow me at my LinkedIn account, linkedin.com/in/marcushowe, to get updated on the articles that I share, the tips on personal finance, and the tips and ways to financial independence. So that's my presentation for today. Thank you for your time. And if you have any inquiries, any question about financial planning, personal finance, feel free to come to my Facebook page or LinkedIn to message me, inbox me. I'll be glad to help you out. That's all. Take care and see you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Marcus, for sharing with us these 8 practical steps to achieve financial independence. I'm sure all our viewers here today, you've gotten all the steps down. And I've actually took some notes down as well. What is step number 1 and step number 8? Okay, so Marcus, I think your steps are pretty cool. It's pretty relevant. Like I said, it's very practical. It's not something that beginners can't do, and it's not something that those advanced stage it's too easy for them as well. I think it's something that very relevant for everyone as well. So thank you so much for sharing all these steps and tips for all of us here today. Okay, so Marcus, I think let's open up the Q&A right now for all our audience. So if you are here, you can leave your questions at the Q&A slot. I will be addressing them to Marcus later on. Marcus, before that, can you just, tell me a bit more about this personality? I know you talk about, you said that we can actually do it online. There's so many things we can do about it now. I just want to know, because I've seen the personality that's what the spender, the saver, all those different personalities. Is it possible that one person can have multiple personality?
So for the personality type, actually, it's not what we call multiple. So maybe there's one dominant personality type, and then there's another what we call sub personality under that main dominant. Because sometimes we notice that some of our friends, or when they are with close friends, they become spender. They're willing to spend on foods, dinner, lunch, everything. But when come to certain parts of their life, they become saver or warrior. So they don't want to spend any money. They just hoard that money. But most of the time that we encounter is those that are spender, they will be always spender. So sometimes it won't be what we call there's some cases that they are main, and then there's what we call sub personality. But generally, usually is the dominant personality will be outside of what we can see.
I see. So now I understand. So majority of the cases is people will only have one type of personality, but there are situations where it based on situational, like you said, when you're out with your friends, you could be like that. But when you're alone yourself, you could be like that. I think that's me lah. Because I was like, must I pick? I think, based on that, I'm kind of like a few here.
So like the personality type actually is what we call, if we today we have that personality type, actually it's not what we want, or maybe it's not from our creation. Usually it's from the environment that we are brought up, and then it will directly affect what's our personality. So usually like savers personality is they always think that is insecurity.
Oh, I see.
So like for spender wise, it's more on you only live once, so you have to be happy now. So that's why you buy good stuff, you enjoy life, anything. So when you look at savers, right, you get, how come you keep a lot of money for what? So savers will look at spenders, why you spend all the money now. So how about if next time anything bad happens, do you have any extra money, something like that. And when it comes to warrior, right, warrior, they will worry about anything. So they worry when you spend money, you don't get the best stuff you get, or if you save the money later, how about the bank go bankrupt, the insurance premium that I pay go bankrupt, something like that. That's what we call warrior. And then another type is what we call avoider. So for avoider, I'm avoider. So everything else is none of my business. So the warrior is like that. And the warrior won't be affected by the monetary terms. That means I don't have to buy good cars, good stuff to please myself. So it's like a bit like monk, but it's another level type. So it's avoid. So that's the personality type we have.
Oh, okay. Hey, I think I have 4 types of God,
But usually how do you spend money? How do you keep your money?
What do you mean? How do I keep my money?
When you receive your income, right? So usually you will allocate it, you will save it at one place, or how you arrange that part?
For me, I don't save it because I know I can't really save, so I force myself to put it into investment.
Okay.
To
So
save
it's
it.
auto method go to investment. Okay.
Yes.
So how are you going to pay your bill? When you receive the bill, you pay it on time, immediately?
Yeah, I pay, yes.
You pay immediately.
I straight away pay off everything I need to pay first.
Okay.
Then I know how much money I can enjoy myself that month. Then I can buy some things after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you are not avoider, because avoider don't pay bills on time. So the one I think is clear. You are not avoider.
But I don't fancy like I must have this car, I must have this, certain labels. I don't do all those.
Yeah, but I think you are under, if you are not avoider, then I think it's under savers or spender, that mix. I mean, this mixed characteristic. So if you want to know which one is your main one, but it's not necessarily correct sometimes, because there's a lot of tests outside there. Sometimes there's simple tests to just let you know the current state you have is what personality you have. And then there are some is some tests is very clear and precise details one. The one sometimes we have to pay around $50 to do the test, and then you will know how is it. But sometimes if we are a spender, but we use some system to help manage our money, right? So it doesn't seem that you are what we call in just one type of personality. So we can use some system or ways to help arrange our money. So that's the case lah.
So by knowing your personality, then you will know like how you spend your money, how you might allocate, or how you might save your money.
Yes, because throughout the discovery of personal finance, because I myself is avoider. So when avoider, usually we tend to get some trouble when bad thing happens, because we avoid all decision related to money. So we just pass by every month. That means I have how much, I use how much, and then next month comes again, and then I just repeat. But when those income stops, then the usually avoider will be in bad shape. So that's the case. And how our personality will affect our money decision down the road, including investment, including how we allocate our money, including how we buy our insurance, everything. So that's the case, is it?
Right. Okay, Marcus, I want to address another thing because I think it's also important in terms of financial independence. It's about paying debt. So you spoke about, like, we know our expenses already, then after we learn how to invest and then start to invest. What about our loans? Yeah, if we have cards, credit cards, all those bills, PTPTN loans and all those. So should we pay off first before we invest, or how's the sequence like?
Okay, so for loans and debts, it depends on which type, or because usually we get this question is invest first or pay our loans first, right?
Yep.
So if based on our personality, we don't pay the loan first one. We spend first, we use the money first. But if it comes to what we call logic side, if based on the moral side of it, you owe people money, you have to pay it, right? So this question doesn't exist. So I owe you money, I pay you. That's straightforward. So you pay first. But sometimes we have that other choices, that is, how about I invest first so that I can get the return only, then I pay back. But it depends. If you are using up the debt or the credit card debts, is if you are using it as to buy stuff, that is consumer debt. Consumer debt, that means you spend more than what you have. So that's the first thing, is you don't have to, at first time you should not have occurred this debt. And if you have this already, you cut down some of your spendings to pay it all up first. So that's what we call consumer debt. But if what we call our hire purchase and our long-term debt, such as house, that is unavoidable. So we base on our, how we call our income to support debts or loans payment. So that's that. If we go into debts, actually there are a lot of branch out that we can do. But simple answer is, if you owe money, you pay money only, then you go to invest. If not, the investment money that generate the returns is not enough to pay off that interest, actually. Yeah. So that's the answer.
Okay. So do you think that I know a lot of people are actually pretty big ambition. They say that, hey, I want to achieve my financial independence before I hit, like, say, 40 years old, or before I hit 30 years old. Some is even bigger ambition. So is it possible?
Actually, it's possible, but there's few methods, because the way that we get to know financial freedom or financial independence in the market, right, is either I join MLM, join insurance industry, or I become a startup business owner or whatever, right? So that's one of the way to achieve financial freedom and independence. That is like hoo-ha, you got a lot of good stuff. But actually, there's a lot of method to achieve financial independence and freedom. So let's say, like one of the case that I mentioned just now is, if you become a nun or monk immediately, you achieve financial freedom, because your desire is as low as possible. So the amount that you come in is as low as possible. Then you are achieving financial independence. So that's why the way that to achieve financial independence, it applies to all. Just that, what is your desire, then it will affect what is your expenses. So we take care of this part first, only then we go and look for how we can go and generate our income to cover these expenses automatically. And then you are financial independence or financial freedom. So let's say, like, if your expenses is 2,000, then we just find a vehicle that can generate 2,000 for you. The trick is, can you maintain 2,000 of expenses? And that's the trick there. Yeah.
Well, this is a rather different approach here. Well, it's kind of new to me. Like you said, find out your desire first.
Yeah.
So how lavish you want to live your life, your retirement life, or from now onwards. Yeah. So find out about that, and then you work the other way around, and then find a vehicle to earn that money. And yes, I agree with you. How do we sustain this? Well, Marcus is giving a very small amount, 2,000 and me, but if you are actually thinking slightly bigger, how are you going to sustain, especially in COVID and pandemics like that? So along the years down the road, we do not know, will there be another pandemic appearing? that's uncertainty to us. So yeah, we have to find the vehicles to continue. So I think Marcus today, he has actually gave us a very good understanding on how can we achieve financial independence along this journey. What are the things that we can do? So if you want to go deep into all this, I suggest that all of us here, we can reach out to Marcus personally. Find out more with Marcus. Go ahead and chat with Marcus. I'm sure Marcus will be more than happy to answer all your questions, to guide you guys personally as well. So after this, I'll be leaving Marcus details. There is one question. Can we just quickly take it? I think let's have this one. Will the COVID situation affect the financial planning for some individuals? And some are badly affected during these tough times. Some jobless, some taking pay cut.
Yes, COVID-19 will affect most of us, including middle income and low income. So what we call T20 higher income ones should not be affected because their asset is enough to generate income for them to sustain. For the middle income one, if there's job cut, there's salary cut, then it definitely will affect. For the lower income one, it surely will affect because they cannot work from home. That's why that's the problem with lockdowns, with MCO, FMCO, everything, right? So it will directly affect. So from that 8 steps, right, usually the first step, we know our personality. After that, then we have to prepare our money. That's why since last year, there's this discussion of we need to prepare our emergency funds up to 6 months to sustain that. So if our desire is never ending, no matter how much you earn, you won't be able to save that amount of money as backup plan. So the problem with us is if we have that desire, and then we want to make our money become larger. So when we have that pool of money, our friends sure will come with some good proposition to ask us to investment. So when you invest and the money is gone already, then you don't have any reserve in there. But it's certainly affecting all of us, especially the lower income groups.
Okay, thank you so much, Marcus, for answering that. And I thank all of you here for staying tuned in this session. This is the second session at WooBiz channel. Thank you, Marcus, as well as your time. And of course, you're sharing your insights here with all of us here. It's certainly beneficial to me and of course to all of you here who are watching. We will leave Marcus' contact at the chat box later on for you guys to reach out to Marcus if you need to consult him personally as well. So once again, thank you so much. The next session will begin after lunchtime. Okay, so please make sure you stay tuned. It is at 2:30 to 3:30. Financial integration, finding the missing piece in financial planning by Ko Hui Ming. With that, we end this session. Thank you so much, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.